Okay, so let's continue our discussion in problem solving skills. So this lesson is more on problem solving and reasoning. So aside dun sa previous video lesson na diniscuss ko yung different problem solving skills as well as yung how we can apply Polya's steps in problem solving. We also have this what we call problem solving and reasoning. So let me have a short introduction for this. So sabi dito, mathematics seeks to understand patterns that permeate the world and human mind. So if you could still remember when we were discussing patterns and symmetry, di ba sabi natin doon na the human mind was wired to understand and to remember patterns. Okay, and through that we can comprehend yung mga bagay na nakikita natin sa paligid natin, and we were able to apply the concept of math. Okay, so when we say permeate, ayan, through patterns, okay, yung knowledge ng math is in Tagalog, that is lumalaganap, 'di ba? So lumalaganap 'yan sa buong planeta natin. That is why halimbawa, kung paano natin naiintindihan yung konsepto ng four operations, gano'n din naiintindihan ng taga-ibang bansa yung konsepto ng four fundamental operations. So, let's say, addition. Alam natin, when we say addition, we add, di ba? We continuously adding a certain number to another number to get the sum. So, that is addition. So, ganun din naiintindihan yun ng ibang lahi. Even though different teachers will have different attack on how to deliver the lesson, but of course, yung konsepto, walang pinagkaiba. Okay? So, even if the language of mathematics is based on rules, it is important to motivate students to move beyond rules to be able to convey things in the language of mathematics. That is the reason why ako personally, as a math teacher, I'm always saying dun sa mga students ko na if you have other way to solve the problem, you can do it. You may apply it, provided you will arrive to the correct answer. Okay? Hindi yung provided you will arrive with the same answer. Kasi minsan, di ba, mali mo, mali yung sagot ko, mas tama yung sagot nung student ko. So, provided, di ba, halimbawa, gumamit sila ng ibang method aside dun sa method na itinuro ko sa kanila. Okay? Kasi let's say, mas nakaisip sila ng ibang method na sa palagay nila ay mas madali compare dun sa tinuro kong method, walang problema sa akin yun. Di ba? Provided they will arrive at the correct answer. And also provided na, let's say, tatanungin ko sila, di ba? Paano mo nakuha yung sagot? Dapat alam niya kung paano depensahan yung method na naisip niya to solve the problem. Okay? So mathematics consists of skills and processes. So magkaiba yung skills sa process. Okay, alam natin 'yan. The skills include the basic arithmetical processes and the algorithms that go with them, while the processes are the ways of applying skills. Okay? So halimbawa, 'di ba? Alam natin, let's say ang unang itinuturo sa bata, okay, as far as mathematics is concerned, is of course the four fundamental operations. The addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Di ba? Yun yung tinatawag nating basic mathematical skills. Okay? Now, as we move higher, okay, dun sa study ng math, mapapansin natin na hindi nawawala yung four fundamental operations. Lagi silang nandun. Di ba? Example, sa algebra, sa trigo, sa geometry, laging nandun yung four fundamental operations. But as you can see, nagle-level up yung learning kahit hindi nawawala yung basic knowledge about the four fundamentals. Okay? So yun yung sinasabi natin na skills and processes. So yung proseso, okay, is yung pagkatuto ng higher level concept sa math. But then, yung skills, yung paano mo i-apply yung mga natutunan mo doon sa mga previous knowledge na meron ka sa pag-aaral ng iba't ibang field in mathematics, i-apply mo yon doon sa proseso. Okay? So somehow, we could not continue or we could not conduct the process if we don't have the skills. Okay? So, in that case, parang ano din yon. Parang halimbawa class, yung okay, magluluto ka ng sinigang. Halimbawa, ganyan. Okay? So, yung pagluluto ng sinigang, yun yung proseso. Kung paano mo lulutuin yung sinigang. But then, kung hindi ka marunong kung paano lulutuin yung sinigang, therefore, hindi yun, wala kang skills. So, if you don't have the skills on how to cook the sinigang, you could not do the process. So we were able to follow the process, or we were able to conduct the process. It's because we have the skills. Okay? So ganun din dito sa math, 'di ba? We were able to solve different problems. It's because we have mathematical skills. Hindi mo masosolve yung problem, hindi mo makakandak yung proseso if you don't have the skills. Okay? Kaya nga, 'di ba, magtuturo muna si teacher. 'Di ba? Magtuturo muna si teacher bago siya magbigay, let's say, ng exercises, bago siya magbigay ng exam, 'di ba? Kasi kailangan mo nang i-provide yung skills bago i-apply doon sa process. Okay? So problem solving is a mathematical process, and problem solving contributes to mathematics itself. Okay? So kumbaga class, tinuturuan tayo ng iba't ibang mathematical skills. It's because yung skills na yon ang gagamitin natin in order for us to solve different mathematical problems. Remember, si mathematical problems, okay, siya mismo si math. Diba? Siya mismo si math. So, paano mo masosolve, okay, if you don't have proper skills? That is why I'm always telling my student, let's say sa calculus. Ayan. So, I'm always telling my student, oh, you should have proper knowledge in algebra. Okay? Kasi yun yung pinaka magiging basic skills na dapat meron sila. Or else, hindi nila agad-agad matututunan yung mga concept sa calculus, or mahihirapan silang intindihin yung mga concept na ituturo sa calculus. But if they have proper skills, 'di ba? If they know how to use the four fundamental operations, if they have knowledge about the different rules in algebra, okay, mas madali na nilang mapoproseso kung paano mag-solve ng problems in calculus. Okay? Then, mathematical reasoning enables a student to use all mathematical skills. Okay? So, if you know the different mathematical reasoning, okay, pwede mong gamitin yung different mathematics skills na meron ka. So, with mathematical reasoning, student recognize that mathematics is indispensable. Ano ibig sabihin ng salitang indispensable? Yung kailangan na kailangan. 'Di ba? Yung parang sabi nga natin, kung natatandaan ninyo, yung unang-unang lesson na diniscuss ko sa inyo about nature of math, 'di ba? Akala natin yung mga bagay-bagay na nasa paligid natin, science lang ang pwedeng mag-explain doon. But actually, without math, okay, hindi din mag-exist yung mga different scientific laws and theories natin. It's because it is always the scientific theories and the scientific laws is always associated with mathematical equations. So hindi yun magiging theory, hindi yun magiging law kung wala siyang mathematical equation, kung wala siyang mathematical application. So that is the reason why nagiging indispensable ang math. So pag sabi natin indispensable, kailangan na kailangan. Kailangan na kailangan natin ang math sa buhay natin. Okay? Kasi sabi nga dyan, no, it makes sense and it can be understood. Okay? So, we have two fundamental types of mathematical reasoning. Dito na lang ako. We have the inductive and the deductive reasoning. Okay? So, ano yung pinagkaiba ng inductive at saka deductive reasoning? So, sa inductive, it is a process of reaching conclusions based on series of observation. So, ibig sabihin, sa inductive reasoning, kailangan meron ka munang series of observation. So, pag sinabing series, marami dapat. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pa pwedeng isang beses mo lang napansin or isang beses mo lang na-observe, okay, makakapag-form ka na agad ng conclusion. Hindi pwedeng ganon. That is the reason why, if you also remember sa science class ninyo, let's say sabihin nung senior high school kayo or nung junior high school kayo, kapag nagkakandak kayo ng laboratory experiment, di ba? Kapag nag-gather kayo ng data, laging merong number of trials. At least 3 trials. Di ba? Kasi kung isang beses ka lang magta-try or kung isang beses ka lang magkakandak ng observation, hindi magiging reliable yung magiging conclusion. So, dapat merong series of observation bago ka mag-form ng conclusion. Okay? So, yan yung si inductive reasoning ha. Si deductive reasoning naman, process of reaching conclusions based on previously known facts. Actually, technically, parang magkabaliktad si inductive at saka si deductive. Kasi si inductive, may observation muna, di ba? Bago ka mag-form ng conclusion. Okay? Si deductive naman, may pagbabasihan kang previous facts. Okay? Known facts. Ibig sabihin, pag known facts, napatunayan na yun ha, bago ka mag-reach ng conclusion. So, yung conclusion mo, ibabase doon sa facts na meron ka. And dahil yan ay facts, therefore, napatunayan na. Di ba? Napatunayan na. So, dahil yan ay napatunayan na, pwede ka na agad-agad magbigay ng conclusion. Okay? So, therefore, sa deductive class, kahit hindi na magkaroon ng series of observation, kasi yung conclusion mo magbabase sa previous knowledge na alam na natin. Okay? So, I'll give you an example for that. So, inductive reasoning draws general principles from specific instances. Deductive reasoning draws specific conclusions from general principles or premises. Kaya dito sa inductive at saka sa deductive class, makakabasa kayo ng mga premises. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng premises? So, ito siya. A premise is a previous statement or proposition. Kung natatandaan nyo pa, tinuro sa inyo sa GenMat ninyo ng senior high school. From which another is inferred or follows as a conclusion. So, dito sa mga premises, okay, pwede tayong makadraw ng conclusion. So, kumbaga parang huhugot tayo ng ating magiging conclusion base dun sa mga premises na mababasa natin. The conclusions reached by inductive reasoning may or not be valid. While in deductive reasoning, it is always correct and valid. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Ito yung disadvantage ni inductive. Okay? Kapag inductive reasoning ang ginamit, class, pwedeng yung conclusion mo, pwedeng valid, at pwede namang hindi siya valid. Okay? Bakit, ma'am? Kasi 'di ba sa inductive, ito siya. Sa inductive kasi class, magbabase ang conclusion mo sa series of observations. So, ang tanong diyan kasi is how true is the observations are? How true are the observations are? 'Di ba? So parang gaano katotoo yung na-observe para makapaggawa ka ng ganyang conclusion. So kahit na sabihin mo na yan na nag-undergo ng observation, okay? Observation lang yan, hindi naman siya proven and tested. Kumbaga parang na-observe lang, okay? Kaya yung magiging conclusion mo, pwedeng totoo, pwedeng valid, and pwede din namang hindi valid. Hindi katulad kapag deductive. Ayan, di ba, sabi dito, deductive reasoning are correct and valid. So, bakit siya correct and valid? Kasi di ba natatandaan ninyo, ayan, sabi natin dito, si deductive galing conclusion sa previously known facts. So dahil ito ay facts, katotohanan na yan, di ba? Katotohanan na. So therefore, yung magiging conclusion mo, always correct and valid. Okay? So inductive reasoning is used to formulate hypotheses, while deductive reasoning is used to prove ideas. So ang kagandahan kay inductive reasoning, ayan, pwede mong siyang gamitin para makapag-formulate ka ng hypothesis. Di ba alam natin, pag sinabi nating hypothesis, that is just a scientific guess. Di ba? Hula lang yan. Pero you do it scientifically. kumbaga parang nag-undergo ka rin naman ng observation, kaya pwedeng sabihin na pinag-aralan din naman. Kaya lang, dahil nga observation siya, hindi pa siya facts. Di ba? Kaya ang tendency, parang pwede siyang valid, pwede siyang hindi. Hindi katulad ni deductive, ayan, dahil nga galing na sa facts yung conclusion mo, kaya pwede mo na siyang gamitin to prove ideas. Okay? So, I have here some example of inductive reasoning. So, ito yung mga ano natin ha, yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na makakabasa dapat tayo ng mga premises bago tayo mag-draw ng conclusion. So, inductive tayo ha. Again ha, ulitin ni ma'am, ayan, meron dapat series of observations bago ka mag-form ng conclusion sa inductive reasoning. Okay? So, example, first premise, John is an excellent swimmer. Okay? That is our first premise. Yan yung ating, kumbaga, yan yung unang observation na pwede nating paghugutan ng ating conclusion. Second premise, John's family has swimming pool. Ayan, so series of observation kasi, di ba? Hindi pwedeng first premise lang. 'Di ba? Kailangan may susundot doon sa unang premise na meron ka. Dapat meron kang second premise, meron kang third premise, 'di ba? So let's say hanggang second premise lang tayo. Dalawang premises lang naman pwede na, okay? So dito ano yung mapo-form natin na conclusion? So John's sister Mary must also be an excellent swimmer. Okay? So dito makikita natin paano nasabi na yung kapatid ni John na si Mary ay maaari, 'di ba? Must also be, dapat daw must also be ay magaling ding na swimmer. Kasi sabi si John ay magaling na swimmer. Eh kapatid niya si Mary. So may tendency na pwedeng na mana, 'di ba? Or na-develop din kay Mary yung kagalingan sa swimming. Tapos, ano pa yung nag-support dun sa idea na baka si Mary ay magaling din na swimmer? Kasi yung pamilya ni John, meron silang swimming pool. So, pwede mong sabihin na, ay, may swimming pool yan eh. So, every now and then, nakakapag-practice yan. Kaya kung si John ay magaling na swimmer, pwedeng si Mary magaling din na swimmer. Okay? Now, ito yung conclusion na may not be valid or valid. Diba? Sige, pwede naman. Kaya lang, how sure are we? Diba? How sure are we na talagang magaling din na swimmer si Mary? Porke ba magaling si John, magaling din si Mary? Diba? Porke ba may swimming pool sila, magaling din na swimmer si Mary? Diba? So, pwedeng hindi, pwedeng oo. Okay? Then, another example. First premise, Elijah is good looking. Okay, yan yung first observation. Second premise, Elijah is well-behaved. That is the second observation. So anong pwede natin maging conclusion dyan? All good-looking are well-behaved. Diba? Dito makikita natin masyadong subjective. Ganun ba? Lahat ba ng pogi or magaganda ay well-behaved na? Paano naman yung mga hindi kagandahan? Paano naman yung mga hindi kapugian? Diba? So therefore, pwede na agad tayo mag-conclude na kundi Malapiolo Pascual, malalay sa soberano ang itsura ay hindi behave, 'di ba? So masyadong subjective. Okay? So dito naman ito yung last. First premise, the coin pulled from a bag is a penny. Barya, okay? Second premise, a second coin from the bag is a penny. Okay? So ano yung pwede mo nga namang i-draw na conclusion diyan? All the coins in the bag are pennies. 'Di ba? Unang hugot, piso. Pangalawang hugot, 5 pisong coin. Diba? 5 pisong barya. Okay? Buo pala. Sorry. 5 pisong buo. Ayan. So, ibig bang sabihin no na lahat ng laman ng bag ay puro barya? Diba? Eh, what if yan yung piso at yung 5 piso lang talaga ang barya na laman ng bag niya? Nagkataon lang na nung unang hinugot, yung piso ang nakuha at yung pangalawang hugot ay yung 5 piso ang nakuha. 'Di ba? So how sure are we na lahat ng laman ng bag niya ay puro barya? Okay? So pwedeng valid, pwedeng hindi valid. Okay? So lahat ng ito, class, ayan, lahat ng conclusion na na-draw natin from our premises, ulitin ko ha, pwedeng totoo, pwedeng hindi. 'Di ba? Kailangan lang talaga, halimbawa, you really wanted to prove na tama yung mga conclusion mo. Kailangan mo pa ng ng follow-up evidences. 'Di ba? Example, ito si Mary. Kailangan mapanood mo talaga kung paano lumangoy si Mary. 'Di ba? Kasi iba yung marunong lumangoy sa magaling lumangoy. What if si Mary ay marunong lang lumangoy pero hindi siya magaling lumangoy? Okay? So ito rin yung kay Elijah, 'di ba? Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina na masyadong subjective. So therefore pag pangit ako, hindi na ako well behaved. 'Di ba? Then also dito sa third example natin, 'di ba? Hindi porki puro barya yung nahuhugot ko i-judge mo na ako na puro barya ang pera ko. 'Di ba? Ayan. So inductive 'yan ha. Inductive ulitin ni Ma'am, magkakaroon muna ng series of observation bago ka mag-form ng conclusion. Ayan. Pagdating naman sa deductive, again mga anak, kapag sinabi nating deductive, balikan natin to, meron ng previously known facts. Facts ha, so ibig sabihin katotohanan. Yun ha, hindi hearsays. Hindi dahil lang sa nakita mo or hindi dahil lang sa narinig mo. Okay? So, based on previously known facts, doon ka huhugot ng iyong conclusion. Okay? So, example tayo ha. First premise. Ayan, may premises pa rin dito. All numbers ending in 0 or 5 are divisible by 5. Ayan. Tapos dito makikita natin. Pwede mo na agad i-identify kung true or false yung unang premise mo. Okay? Tingnan mo na agad kung may rule na applicable doon sa unang premise mo. So sabi diyan, all numbers ending in 0 or 5 are divisible by 5. True siya, di ba? Kasi that is according to the rule of divisibility. Okay? Second premise, the number 35 ends with a 5. O, tingnan mo maigi. True ba yung second premise? Oo, kasi 35 eh. So, nag-e-end siya sa 5. Therefore, ayan na, makakagawa ka na ng conclusion. Therefore, 35 is divisible by 5. Applying the first premise, di ba? Lahat ng number na nag-e-end sa 0 ay 5 ay divisible by 5. Si 35 ay nag-e-end sa 5, therefore, divisible by 5. Okay? So, kahit hindi ka na mag-observe, kahit hindi mo na kailangang form ng sarili mong conclusion, 'di ba? Matik, 'di ba? Alam mo na agad na okay, dahil si 35 ay nag-end sa 5, divisible siya by 5. Okay? Kasi meron tayong ano ang i-apply mo sa pagbuo mo ng conclusion, yung rules sa divisibility. Okay? Ito pa another example. First premise, all squares are rectangles. Ayan, titingnan nyo kung true or false. Okay? Lahat ba ng squares ay rectangles? Pwede. Di ba? Kasi pag sinabi nating rectangles, okay, two sides are parallel. Ang squares, meron siyang two sides na parallel. Okay? So, conclusion, therefore, all squares have four sides. Diba? So, wala na tayo ditong agam-agam. Wala na tayong hindi nga, mga ganan, di ba? Hindi katulad doon sa inductive, yun nga, mapapatanong ka pa ng, ganun ba yun? Di naman yata. Di ba? Dito hindi, di ba? Agad-agad, mag-a-agree tayo doon sa conclusion na mabubuo. Okay? So, let's say, first premise, cacti are plants. That is plural form for cactus, ha? Then second premise, all plants perform photosynthesis. Diba? Alam natin na ang cacti ay halaman. Diba? Yung mga cactus natin ay halaman. Then lahat ng halaman, without exemption ha, lahat ng halaman ay nag-undergo ng photosynthesis. Diba? Pero lang yata sa mga if I'm not mistaken, pwera lang yata sa mga algae, 'di ba? Pero parang kailangan din nila ng heat for them to multiply, 'di ba? Parang gano'n. I'm not sure of that, ha? But then, ano yung magiging conclusion natin dito? Therefore, cacti perform photosynthesis. Kasi 'di ba, kina-classify natin yung mga cactus na halaman. And we all know, lahat ng halaman nagpe-perform ng photosynthesis in order for them to produce their own food. Diba? Therefore, dahil si cacti ay halaman, magpe-perform din siya kailangan niya rin mag-perform ng photosynthesis. Okay? So, mapapansin niyo dito sa deductive reasoning, lahat ng pinagbasihan ng conclusion natin is already a known facts. Katotohanan. Hindi katulad sa sa inductive, parang more on lang siya, more on observations lang siya, more on hearsays lang siya. Okay? So, yan ang ating inductive and deductive reasoning. Okay? Okay, so tuloy na natin class. Konti na lang to. Okay, so let me have another problem-solving skills, intuition. Kutob sa Tagalog. Diba? Intuition is the ability to understand something instinctively. So, dito ang gagamitin mo lang instinct. Okay? Without the need for conscious reasoning. It is instinctive knowledge, meaning the state of being aware of or knowing something without having to discover or perceive it, or the ability to do this. It is the instinctive belief, meaning that something is known or believed instinctively without actual evidence for it. Dito mga anak, makaka-relate dito yung mga babae. Di ba? Kasi according to psychology, mataas daw ang intuition naming mga babae. Diba? Kaya boys, pag yung mga girlfriend or yung mga asawa ninyo ay kinutuban sa inyo, ayan, sabi sa psychology, 90% true yung kutob. Diba? And ma'am, paano yan i-apply sa math? Okay? Yung instinct class, pwede mong gamitin while performing or using your mathematical skills in problem solving. Kutuban mo yung sagot mo kung totoo. 'Di ba? Kutuban mo yung sagot mo kung tama or mali. Okay? Nararamdaman yun mga anak. Ako, I do believe, nararamdaman, ikaw halimbawa na nagsosolve, nararamdaman mo kung tama pa ba yung tinatakbo ng solution mo or hindi. 'Di ba? I don't know kung nararanasan niyo 'yan. Ako nararanasan ko 'yan, lalo na nag-aaral pa ako. Parang alam ko kung tama or mali yung ginagawa ko. Okay? Pagka ano mga anak, yung smooth yung pagsagot mo, yung walang interruption. Yung hindi ka tumitigil, ano lang, laging may pumapasok agad na idea sa'yo kung paano mo siya isosolve. Okay? So, instinct ang tawag natin doon. So, pwede siyang gamitin or pwede siyang i-include as one of the mathematical skills. Okay? So, ito, sabi ni Albert Einstein, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. Okay? So, sabi ni Albert Einstein, kung meron ka daw intuitive mind, gift yon, sacred gift. Kesa doon sa mga merong rational na pag-iisip. Okay? Yung mga meron daw rational na pag-iisip, commonly sila yung mga servant. Sa society daw natin, mas ino-honor natin yung mga rational mind kesa doon sa mga sacred gift. Okay? I'll give you an example. Let's say, halimbawa, may husband ako. Halimbawa, ganun. Tapos kinutuban ako na siya ay may other woman. Halimbawa, ganun ha. Tapos gusto ko siya i-demanda. Pagpunta ko sa korte, hindi naman iyo-honor ng korte. Nasasabihin ko lang, kinukutuban po ako. Hindi kasi i-honor sa korte yung kutob, yung intuition. Pag dinaan ko sa korte, pag gusto ko i-demanda yung asawa ko, I should have evidences. I should have concrete evidences. Doon papasok yung rational mind. Diba? So what if totoo naman yung kutob ko, hindi lang talaga ako makapag-provide ng evidences? Wala na. Hindi na tatakbo yung kaso. Diba? So, if that is the case, hindi ko na madedemanda yung asawa ko. Parang gano'n. So parang, if that is the case, continue na lang, niya na lang nalolokohin ako. Diba? So nasan na yung idea ng pagiging sacred gift na intuition ko? Diba, sa society na meron tayo, hindi naman ino-honor yung intuition. Diba? But mga anak ha, katulad nito, tinuturo nga sa atin na yung intuition ay pwede nating idagdag as one of our mathematical skills. Okay? So let's have now mathematical proof is an argument which convince other people that something is true. Ito mga anak, example ng mathematical proof, yung paano isosolve ang isang problem. Diba? Yun, proof yun. Proof yun. Diba, halimbawa, sasabihin ko sa inyo na ipoprove ko sa inyo yung value ng pi na 3.14. So I have to show the solution. 'Di ba? Para ma-convince ko kayo na yun talaga yung value ng pi, which is the 3.14. Para ma-convince ko kayo na yung 3.14 ay hindi may magic na value. 'di ba? Nandun ngayon papasok yung mathematical proof. Okay? So ano yung proof mismo? Is an inferential argument for a mathematical statement. It is a conclusive evidence or an argument that serves to establish a fact or the truth of something. Proof consists of a test or trial of something to establish that it is true. In direct proof, the conclusion is established by logically combining the axioms, definitions, and earlier theorems. Okay? So that is the reason why, di ba, sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, kung gagamit kayo ng ibang method sa pagsosolve ng problem, let's say na ibibigay ko, okay lang. Provided ha, maipapaliwanag mo sa akin. 'Di ba? Nandun kasi yung ano, pag pinaliwanag mo 'yan sa harapan ko, magkakaroon tayo ng argument. So in order for you to win the argument, you should have mathematical proof. Ano yung proof na pwede kong gamitin, ma'am? Kung paano mo sinolve, okay? Using different formulas, applying those skills that you have in using those formulas. If you will arrive at the correct answer, well, then you're going to win the argument. Okay? Pero kung ipipilit mo yung argument mo, okay, but still you were not able um, to get the correct answer, di ba? So, even though mathematical proof pa rin naman yon kasi dinidepensahan mo pa rin naman yung sagot mo eh. Kaya lang, you're not going to win the argument because you were not able to provide the correct answer. Okay? So, let's have now the certainty. Ito, last na to. It is a total continuity and validity of inquiries to the highest degree of precision. Pinaliwanag ko to sa inyo, kung natatandaan ninyo. Isa ito doon sa uh, mathematical, kung gaano ka-powerful ang math sa buhay natin, di ba? So, certainty is a conclusion or outcome that is beyond doubt. Kailangan sure, di ba? A mathematical certainty is something that is certain or most likely to happen. So, that is why every time na magsasolve kayo ng problem, dapat bago nyo ipasa yung papel ninyo, tanungin nyo muna yung sarili nyo, are you sure? Diba? Are you certain to your answer? Diba? Kailangan walang doubt. O, sure ako dito. Tama ito. Okay? Because I was able to use my mathematical skills. I was able to provide mathematical proof. Okay? I was able to apply mathematical formulas and everything in order for me to come up with this answer. So I'm sure, di ba? I'm sure, I'm certain with my answer. Then that's good for you. Okay? So, that's end our discussion about problem solving skills. So expect that next week during our face-to-face classes, you will have long tests about these two video lessons that we had this past few weeks, the problem solving skills, the Polya's steps in problem solving, and this one, eto, yung dinidiscuss ni ma'am ngayon. So, yan yung coverage ng long test ninyo next week pagbalik natin sa face-to-face class. Okay, thank you so much.